and welcome back to Reading with Rosie. Today I've chosen a book by the same author as yesterday, so it's Judith Kerr, and this book is called Mog and the Baby and Other Stories. And I'm going to choose my favourite one because there's 3 stories inside this book, so I'm choosing the favourite one, which is the second one, called Mog's Bad Thing. I hope you enjoy it. One day, Mog was coming home to her garden. She had been on a mouse hunt all night and she was very tired. Mog thought, I need a big sleep. But first she went round her garden to see if it was just as she had left it. The grass was still there. The flowers were still there. The tree was still there, and so was her lavatory behind the tree. Mog thought, that's all right then. It was starting to rain, so she went into the house. Mr. Bunce from the pet shop was there with Mr. Thomas. He said, hello, Mog. All ready for the cat show tomorrow? Debbie said, there's going to be a cat show in our garden, Mog, and you can be in it. What if it rains? Said Nicky. All the cats will get wet. No, said Mr. Bunce, because I'm going to put a big tent up and the cat show will be inside it. Debbie said, perhaps Mog will win a prize. Mr. Thomas looked at Mog and Mog looked back at him. He said, well, you never know. Mog had her breakfast and went to have her big sleep. It was a very big sleep. It was so big that she only woke up after everyone else had gone to bed. Mog thought, now for another mouse hunt. But when she looked out, she had a terrible shock. Her garden had disappeared. The grass had disappeared. The flowers had disappeared, the tree had disappeared, and worst of all, so had her lavatory behind the tree. Instead, there in the dark was a big white flappy floppy thing. The flappy floppy thing moved in the wind. It went flap, flap, flap. It went flap, flap, flap with a loud flappy noise. Mog thought, I'd better run. Then she thought, but I want my lavatory. Suddenly the flappy floppy thing flapped right at her. It nearly caught her nose. Mog ran. Oh dear. She ran back into her house. She ran through all the rooms in case the flappy floppy thing was coming after her. She thought, what shall I do? What shall I do? And then Mog did a bad thing. She did not mean to do it, but she did it. She did it in Mr. Thomas's chair. Then she hid under the sofa where the flappy floppy thing couldn't get her. She was too upset to think any more. So she went back to sleep. Oh, poor Mog. She woke up in the morning to a great noise. It was a shouting noise, and Mr. Thomas was doing the shouting. He shouted, look what that horrible cat has done in my chair. Where is that horrible cat? Just wait till I find her. Mog did not want Mr. Thomas to find her. When no one was looking, she ran out from under the sofa and out of the room and to the very top of the house. Holding his nose, look, they found the very bad thing that Mog did. She thought, no one will ever find me here. I'll stay here forever and ever, and I'll never go downstairs again. She was very sad. But downstairs they were all too busy to think about Mog. Mr. Bunce had come to get ready for the cat show. He fixed a hole in the tent where the rain was coming through. Then he put out a table for the cats to sit on, and chairs for the cats' people. Debbie said, it's time Mog got ready too. Where is she? You see Mog hiding upstairs, and then everyone getting ready for the cat show. No one had seen her. They all shouted, Mog! Mog! Where are you, Mog? Mrs. Thomas said, "Oh dear, here come the first cats for the show." But there was no Mog. Then they looked in every place they could think of, but still there was no Mog. Debbie said, "But we can't start the cat show without Mog." "Don't worry," said Mr. Bunce. "I expect she'll suddenly appear and surprise us all." Everyone coming into the tent. There was no time to go on looking for Mog because more cats were arriving. There was the Siamese from round the corner, and Blackie from the high street, and Ginger from the paper shop, and old Mr. Ben's Tommy, and Fluffy, who had once bitten Mog's ear, and Oscar, who ate 3 tins of cat food every day, and a whole lot of others. Look at all those cats, all going to the cat show. A great mixture of cats there. They all went into the big tent. The cats looked at each other, and the cats' people looked at each other, and at each other's cats. There was a prize for the most unusual cat in the show, and everyone wondered which cat would win. A lot of people thought Fluffy was unusual. "He's only unusual as an ear biter," said Nicky. All got their cats ready for the show. Mr. Bunce went round making notes. He could not make notes about Mog because she was not there. "Wherever can she be?" said Debbie. Mog was getting bored with her hiding place. She thought she'd look out of the window. The flippy flappy thing had stopped flapping. It did not look so bad in daylight. And there was her tree. It was there. It was still there. Mog thought, "I could jump down on the flappy floppy thing and into my garden." Then she thought, "Oh, but it might flap at me." Then she thought, "Shall I?" She's up in the attic. Look, she thinks, "Shall I jump down?" Inside the tent, Mr. Bunce had finished making notes. He said, "It's time to choose the winner of the show. We can choose Bertie, who has unusual ears, or Oscar, who is unusually big, or Fluffy, who is unusually furry, or Min, who is unusually, well, unfurry, or Mrs. Pussy, who has a very unusual number of kittens." But something was wrong. Fluffy was getting wet. It was raining on Fluffy. It was raining inside the tent. "Oh dear," said Mr. Bunce. "It's another hole in the roof. The rain will come through." Oh, you need to see the picture. Look at all those cats. And they're getting rained on inside the tent. Must be another hole. Look. Oh, drip, drip, drip. But then something more than rain came through. It was something furry. It was something stripy. Nicky shouted, "It's Mog!" "Well, I never," said Mr. Bunce, "and in a little dress. I thought Mog might surprise us, but this beats everything." Mog tried to say something, but only a very small noise came out. Then Mr. Bunce said, "In this show we have seen some unusual cats, but none as unusual as Mog. She has flown through the air like a circus cat. She is an acrobat. She has amazed us all, and I think the prize for the most unusual cat should go to Mog." Everyone clapped and cheered. Well, almost everyone. I don't think Fluffy's owners were too happy. They wanted to win. Mog got a very special prize, and Mr. and Mrs. Thomas got a certificate. They were very proud. Mr. Thomas was so proud that he was no longer cross about his chair, and when everyone had gone home, Mr. Bunce took his tent away again, and Mog's garden reappeared. Mog looks really happy there. She's got her garden back. It was all there, just as before. The grass was there, the flowers were there, the tree was there, and so was her lavatory behind the tree. She was very happy. I hope you enjoyed that story, and I'll see you again soon.